That's about when I first saw them, about like that. That's real close. I wouldn't move it anymore. Yeah. Ooh, that's scary. That's what it looked like. That's
Thank
nuts.
you.
They were more white than
More
yellow.
white.
They looked like stars. I don't remember yellow.
So what you're telling me is this first version that we made here with these lights, 7 lights in an array, slightly banked, coming roughly over that mountain was your first perception of it. And about 2.5 minutes later, the lights had come much closer, gotten much larger,
Yes.
and gotten somewhat leveled in this array.
But I don't know that I could see all of them because I think that my view, I think it was bigger than my view at that point. Do you see what I mean? I think if you did it with the window, I may have only been seeing this.
If you kept, right, we don't have the window there.
Right. It isn't really a window, it's a glass door, but it just looks right that direction, you know what I
But
mean?
we know these things are eventually going to
Go right over my head.
zoom to the point where you're probably only going to be able to see 3 of them overhead. And
Correct.
Nothing but structure overhead.
Correct.
All right. And we know that somehow or another that the thing leveled a little bit.
Yeah, well, I just remember it appeared to be tipping and now it looks closer
Okay.
to what, yeah, that's pretty close.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll try and work now on the next step.
Great.
Okay, John, so the next point we really want to document is up close. It's not quite going over your head, but it's real close coming in on the property. And by now, what we're seeing are 2 very large lights of the 7 that there were, the left one being a little bit farther forward, presumably than the lead light. And then there is a big structure, which we're demonstrating here as a very smoothly curved boomerang with lights about yay size, which I
Yes.
will shoot and bring in.
Yeah.
And these lights are all solid what they were. They don't project any light down. Did they appear to have that magical shimmering like you get on a hot summer's day, or were they just simply on?
They were just just lights on.
Lights on, solid,
Yeah.
and a definitive edge to them. Okay.
But I was able to see the cans that they were set back in a little bit.
All right.
That was when I really saw that there was structure there.
Now, the structure then, which we will draw in later in the simulation, let's assume it's made of hexagonal cells like a bee cone.
No, that's just the light that's underneath. You
That's
see
what I'm talking about. the
Right, yeah,
skin.
yeah.
The skin on the whole
Of the belly,
of the belly.
right.
Right. Is in the outer coverage of the bottom of this.
Of what I could see
of
as
this
far
thing.
as these parameters, like right here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was a honeycomb octagon cell structure, the way those are.
Something like that, but
Something like that.
make it fuzzy, real fuzzy.
Make it
I mean,
fuzzy.
out of focus.
Okay.
It's way out of focus, but that's close.
Okay. And we've got an opaque surface. You don't see stars through it. We've got like a very, very dark satin finish. And then these cells are randomly, individually pulsing. And the way you described it was as if a light bulb was going on behind some cotton, or a lightning blast behind
Right,
some
right,
a cloud.
right.
So this thing would kind of light up and dim down.
And it was
That would
going
be-
back and forth across the whole thing.
And that would be bounded by the surface of, or the area of that particular hexagon.
Well, of the whole mass of it, like the whole beehive, the whole structure of like what's it, like the way cardboard is made. You know how?
Corrugated.
Well, no, not well. You know how cardboard has cells,
Right.
and it'd be like all those cells are there, and but all kind of out of focus. But now this is, kind of randomly moving at the same with the light behind, the lights behind.
Well, what I'm trying to envision is individual light bulbs or lightning strikes, or they are going on and off. That process is random, and what you get is what's described as a pulsating.
Yes.
And what's
Yeah.
important from an animation point of view is that although these things were pulsating, and that sounds like Las Vegas,
Yeah.
disco, these things were coming up to like a gray, a
Right.
medium gray, and that was
Right.
about it.
Right.
So it actually had to be close and overhead so you could get this effect, and this effect was actually rather subtle.
Very subtle and very,
And very
dim.
diffused.
Very diffused.
Very diffused.
Very diffused
So
and
it's
dim.
dancing now.
And out of focus.
And
kind of all,
focus, blurry,
yeah,
all right.
blurry, yeah.
Okay. That could have to do with line attenuation and scattering. Anyway, so there's no color to it.
No, well, kind of a grayish white, you know,
Well,
just,
that means no color. The
Yeah,
difference between
yeah.
black and
Oh,
white
yeah.
is a straight line.
Okay, yeah,
And there's
yeah.
no color.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
so it gets up to a gray,
right.
not maybe even 50% gray, but a little bit. And then, so now, a little bit ago, in this kind, you were mentioning about, oh, it was going back and forth. Did you see a pattern, like a wave going along with it?
Almost, yeah, like kind
Oh,
of,
God.
it kind of would shift over this way, shift back this way, shift back this way, you know, it was kind of kind of like a kaleidoscope was turning, you know what I mean? And it was going in with it.
Did it repeat?
No,
At all?
I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that it was repeating or it was just there was action going on with the light.
Okay, action going on the lights.
Yeah.
But subtle, understood.
Very subtle.
Diffused.
Diffused.
When you go to animate it, guys, what was the rate? If I'm gonna go, bam, here's a light.
It was kind of like boom, 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 boom. You know, just all
Okay, did you
the
guys
whole
get that,
thing.
that rate right there? Boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Pretty much.
And not. So if we put 3 lights along each leading edge and 1 on the nose,
That's it.
and we
as far as the front.
angle them down at about 45 degrees, so they could be both forward and down,
That's close.
and make them big and make them yellow.
Yellowish white,
And
and,
then
put
put-
them in a can where you can see like the light recessed back in like a headlight.
Okay, it's like one of those in interior design lights where you've got the light up.
Very
inside
similar,
there.
very similar.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
If we did that, did the last light be on the tip, or were they strung down? Well, you didn't see the tip because it
I
was.
couldn't really,
Okay,
you know,
never
the
mind.
only lights that I can say I saw really close would probably be this one and maybe one here, possibly one here. That, because it was so big, but when it was that close, I mean, I saw all the lights when it was out, clear out here by Granite Mountain, and then I saw all the lights when it was much closer. But when it went over, I could only see a couple lights.
Have you got any sense of the apparent thickness
The thickness of it,
of it?
yeah, I think it would, I don't know, maybe 100 feet maybe?
100 feet times a mile, okay. This particular image,
Or maybe it was thicker, you know, I mean,
well, all I want to know is, like, looking at this aspect ratio of this image, the leading edge, we see on the tips, we kind of see kind of how thick it is, as opposed to others which were reported to be very, very thin. Tim Lee's was said to be almost paper thin. Nobody
No.
ever gets that part right.
yeah, no, this actually, I mean, it had a round effect, you know, it had, I could see enough of it so I could see like,
How could you tell there was a curvature? Where was the light that would give you that?
I just saw that the curvature from the light was illuminating it enough,
Okay.
you know, just enough to see that there was a curvature.
You know what the leading edge of an airfoil looks
Sure.
like, because you've been in an
Yeah.
airplane.
Yeah, it looked very much like the leading edge of just a conventional wing,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
You know, like not necessarily like a jet wing, but, you know, like an older aircraft, you know, like a rounded, you know, kind of like an old, you know.
Like a tub?
Yeah, or, well, not something like that, more, you know,
Yeah.
something like a Aero Commander, or, you know, one of those kind
Alright.
of, you know,
Okay.
or like a Mooney, you know, how it had a kind of a, you know, or a Navion, you know, they had a real rounded wing.
Okay,
It's kind of like that. And the lights were just recessed in.
all right. The leading edge was straight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, it was all, it seemed that like it was like a boomerang, you know what I mean? It seemed like, when it got pretty
Curve?
close, yeah, it had a curve this way too. See what I mean?
Actually, nobody can see that from your way you're holding your hands. But I can see it enough to see what you're talking about. So, of the shapes we've got, you're talking about more of a boomerang curve
Correct. That's getting close.
than a,
Yeah, and then the lights are like here.
okay, we'll put a light here. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, only they're spread out a little
One.
more. That's close, Yeah,
Could this be
because
thicker?
the exhaust were staggered quite a bit, you know, like this one was they were staggered, so that's probably about the way.
That's what I was trying to get to. In other
Yeah.
words, when you're talking about 3 exhausts coming out.
On each side, right.
So if I was to draw a dot in between the embedded lines, I'd get a total of 6.
Right, that's basically, that's it. That's pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah,
And maybe a little bit of a shell or something on it because it glowed brilliantly.
well, but this shell would have been right on the surface, you see what I mean?
It just occurred to me, I probably actually want to record this. So the shell might have been flat on the surface
Yes,
to
and-
cover it, to capture the light. So this is like an embedded light in the leading edge.
Right, and then just has like a light that's back in here, like if I could draw it real quick, I could show you how it went. It went like, and that's basically, it just came across the front like that, and then the light was back up. That's when I saw those cans, then I knew it was a ship for sure. You see what I mean?